and musician Jonathan Kogan. Jonathan, did you hear what Steve had to say? He thinks you're very dark there, Jonathan. Steve says that trigger warnings, well, it's fine. You get the best of both worlds. You get told that you might find this offensive, but, you know, if you're not going to, watch it and enjoy it. Do you agree with that? Or do you think the whole idea of even putting a trigger warning over comedy is sort of a censorship creep into an industry that really relies on being risque?
So it's a good question. So I do definitely agree with Steve in the sense that if you have the trigger warning, but you still have the original piece of art that hasn't been changed, you do kind of have the best of both worlds. You've got the original message or language that was used, and you've got that kind of modern, I guess, look at it. But at the same time, it's not something I would want personally on the media I consume. I think you kind of have that to an extent with ratings. If something's not going to be suitable for a kid, you don't show it to them. But generally, I don't think trigger warnings are too important, especially not from my perspective. But then again, I've only got like a medium amount of trauma in my life. So if you've got like huge amount of terrible memories, then maybe you do need that. But, each their own.
Do you find yourself self-auditing? I mean, let's take, for example, Dave Chappelle, who was really dragged through the coals for, previous shows on Netflix and has really come back punching. Is that the right sort of approach to take and sort of to make light and actually turn cancel culture into comedy?
Okay, well, I mean, whether you like him or not, Dave Chappelle is like undeniably fantastic at what he does. You don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with him, but in terms of skill and talent, he's really one of the best. Now, what's kind of interesting is he's at the crux of this cultural debate because he spent a lot of his performance time talking about injustices to do with race. And he's always been a bit of like a hero in regard to that. And now he's taking the flack from being on perceived as the wrong side of the debate with the gender issue. Now, is he getting cancelled in a sense? I mean, I know his documentary that he wanted to show has been dropped from a bunch of film festivals, so he's been cancelled in that regard. But at the same time, he's absolutely world famous, making loads of money from Netflix and drawing huge audiences. So cancel's kind of it's sort of subjective to how much exposure you can get without certain gatekeepers allowing you in. But do I think if people disagree with you, they should try and take your livelihood away? Absolutely not. Should they not watch you if they don't like you? Yeah. But at the same time, doesn't mean I think people should be horrendously offensive just to try and hurt people. I don't think that's good comedy. I think that's just bullying. But at the same time, jokes are going to sometimes offend, and that's just the nature of the art form. It's tricky. It's an age-old question. I don't know.
Do you find yourself, when you're producing your material, sort of self-limiting sometimes and thinking, God, I'd love to tell that joke. I really want to put that pun in there, but it might be a little bit on the edge and it could cause me trouble.
So if I say a joke and then my girlfriend just walks out the room, that's normally a good indicator that it's just slightly over the line. But I think you are just going to have to experiment live with it and see what the reaction is. Not everyone's going to like it. I've had jokes that have gone down super well in certain gigs, and then another time I literally once had a girl from the audience shout out, "No," at one of my punchlines. So I learned a lesson that day. And I guess it's kind of up to me. I really think it's up to me, or it's up to the comedian to choose what they want to put in and then just deal with the consequences. As long as those consequences are people liking it or not liking it, not getting like mobbed for having the wrong opinion about an issue that week.
Jonathan, if the consequence is people laughing, you're doing a good job. And stick with the comedy. Don't become a lighting director. Lovely to have you on the show today.